An excavation whose mystery has remained unsolved for years. Suddenly, a house in Turkey is surrounded, a house covered in blue tarps, guarded by special forces. An incident in which a police officer was killed, and the state has remained silent for years. And from that moment on, the area remains under siege for a year. No explanation, no images, no official information. And the only question on everyone's mind: what was the state looking for there? What was found there? Tarsus has been the center of countless civilizations throughout history. The Assyrians, the Romans, the Seljuks. But in the 2011s, these ancient lands came to the forefront for a completely different reason. It all started with a rumor of treasure and turned into a mystery that reached the highest levels of the state. It all begins in 2011. According to legend, an elderly Armenian woman from Tarsus comes into possession of a map that has been hidden for generations. Its origin is unclear, perhaps inherited from her grandfather or secretly taken from a church. The woman tries to understand the map, but cannot. She keeps it in her home for months until fate introduces her to 4 treasure hunters. The elderly woman makes a deal with the treasure hunters in exchange for a portion of the loot. These individuals begin investigating the location indicated on the map. Eventually, they locate a house in Tarsus marked by the map. They negotiate with the homeowner, offering 5 times the rent. The offer is accepted. By the end of 2011, the excavation begins. However, things quickly spiral out of control. Disagreements arise within the team over the loot. 2 members end up fighting. One of them, in anger, goes to the police station and reports the secret excavation. And at this point, the direction of the entire event changes completely. After the complaint, the team halts the excavation, intending to pause to avoid capture. The police investigate, but there is no evidence. The police chief assigns an officer to the area, Erdogan. His task is simple, yet dangerous. He must pose as a treasure hunter, gain the trust of the team, and collect information from the inside. A kind of undercover agent, Erdogan succeeds. He meets the treasure hunters. He becomes friendly with them and convinces them to restart the excavation. He excavates with the treasure hunters for weeks and sends his reports to his superiors. According to him, inside were chandeliers made of gold, coins, and valuable items. However, this information soon attracts the attention of others. A group of police officers, along with some colleagues in the department, conduct their own raid. The treasure hunting group is captured. Then a strange situation emerges. Official reports contain not a single word about the treasure. Apparently, Erdogan had unknowingly been drawn into a corruption network within the state. The findings are hidden and distributed. Erdogan, left alone with his conscience, tells his superior that this is wrong. His superior sends him on a 15-day leave and confiscates his weapon. During these days, Erdogan is extremely anxious. He constantly claims to be followed. He does not leave the house unless necessary and keeps everyone away from the windows. He tells his wife everything and says, "I'm going to the capital. I will tell the story." He carries a CD containing footage from the excavation and a full account of the events. His superior calls him back to duty, but shortly after, Erdogan dies from a gunshot fired from his own weapon. The incident is not recorded as a murder. It is said the gun went off while being cleaned, but his wife knows the truth. They silenced him, she says. However, the story does not end there. Erdogan's wife fights for years to reopen the case until 2016, when she sends a letter to the presidency. Thanks to this letter, a later investigation confirms that he was indeed murdered. The murderer is caught, and he is also a police officer. He receives a 25-year prison sentence. If Erdogan's wife hadn't sent this letter, would the killer have been found? In mid-2016, following the letter, silent activity begins. One morning, the 82 Evler district of Tarsus wakes up to find its streets surrounded by special forces. Drone flights are prohibited, electricity is cut, cell phones do not work, the house is completely covered with blue tarps, barricades are erected on the street, snipers wait on rooftops. Official explanation: archaeological excavation. But why so secret? Why under military protection? And why is no one informed? Even some parliament members are not allowed in. No one can enter without Erdogan's permission. A parliament member is reportedly told, "This is a national issue. It is an international matter. Do not share with the press." The excavation lasts a full year. The locals hear only the sound of digging machines. They see nothing of the findings and cannot approach the excavation site. Finally, in November 2017, the state announces that the excavation is complete. The findings? A single bronze coin, a broken piece of a column, and a few worthless items. All this security, all this secrecy, for just a few shards of pottery? Satellite images reveal the excavation reached a depth of approximately 14 meters. Some tunnels extend to lateral galleries. Speculation spreads on social media. Some claim extraterrestrial findings were discovered. Others suggest an underground city or even a portal to another dimension. It was even rumored that 2 archaeologists said it could be a gateway to another world. Yet neither the archaeologists were found nor the source of these statements. Important detail was overlooked. The excavation began with a map, and maps usually point to only one thing: treasure. Local rumors suggest in the early years, the treasure hunters found only a few gold items, thinking they were rich, but the real chambers were deeper. The state initiated the 2016 excavation to reach these chambers, and there, kilos of gold were found. This claim spread quickly among the public, yet not a single word came from the state. But perhaps the matter was more valuable than gold. Some claim that the Gospel of Paul was discovered during the excavation, as Tarsus is Paul's birthplace. Documents relating to the Ark of the Covenant were also allegedly found. These are sacred symbols for Christian and Jewish worlds. If truly found, religious balance could have been shaken, possibly causing a major crisis. Shortly after the excavation ended, an interesting development occurred. President Erdogan visited the Vatican for the first time in 59 years. A year later, Hagia Sophia was converted back into a mosque. During the opening ceremony, a fleeting image appeared on the screen. A gold-embellished chest, with words inscribed, "The Ark of the Covenant." The strange part, neither the Vatican objected, nor did the Christian world react. No sanctions were imposed. Why? Perhaps they truly had nothing left to hide. Was all this a coincidence or a distraction? Perhaps all these rumors were meant to turn eyes to Tarsus? Perhaps the real excavation was happening somewhere else. And the true treasure, whatever that may mean, had already been taken. Today, the excavation site is completely closed. No one truly knows what was found. Yet the people of Tarsus cannot forget those days, the silent nights when blue tarps waved quietly and no one spoke. Is the secret beneath Tarsus still there, or has it long been locked away in a vault or archive? For some, it was merely a treasure. For others, it was a truth humanity had forgotten. Whatever the reality may be, the silent streets of Tarsus still seem to hide something.